All right, hello everybody. It is I, MegaFire here. I am joined by my good hosts, Dorko for you, Bob Hood, and Harvek.
Hey.
Hi.
We are once again back with the Sonic the Hedgehog comics, published by Archie. And this time we got a pretty good lineup. We've got Sonic the Hedgehog issue 51, 52, Knuckles the Echidna 4, 5, and 6, and then the cherry on top, Sonic Super Special number 2, Brave New World. In that order. I've got cool stuff to share. I did some digging on things just because there's a lot of firsts in the first half of this lineup of comics. I think I'll just start with a general. What do we think, fellas? How was this week?
Wasn't a banger for me, personally. 52 is okay. Parts of Brave New World were okay. Didn't care for the Knuckles one, didn't care for 51.
Okay. Dorko, thoughts? Overall impressions? Feelings?
I mean, I'm already having trouble remembering some of these stories. And for me, it's kind of ranging from just okay to bad. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Harv, thoughts?
We'll talk about it later.
We'll do it as we go then.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm in agreement here. I think overall it was somewhat weak, but we also get a lot of new things in the world, which is nice. It's also kind of, there's some interesting tidbits which I'll go into as we get to them, related to the Sonic story as a whole, which is kind of cool. And then there's just, I don't know, like this is like the first part of the story where Robotnik is gone, so they were trying to do their own original stories unrelated to, I guess, tangentially related to him, which I thought was, there's parts of Brave New World I really like. And then I think the remainder of the content, I guess my overall feeling is lukewarm. I certainly thought that 51 was kind of like maybe the lowest of everything.
It's kind of dumb.
It was pretty stupid. It really encompassed a lot of what you talked about, I think, last time with the I'm tired of this thing again.
Yeah.
And again.
I will comment on it like as soon as I...
Yeah.
It was pretty
I-
funny
I
to be
finished
like,
it.
man, like the thing I complained about, and then like immediately like again. I'm like,
Yeah, don't spoil it. It goes...
Yeah, you're right. And I just okay. Let's just jump in. Let's get the summaries. Let's go.
Alright. So, number 51. Sonic is given an award for defeating Robotnik. Later, Robot Sally tricks Sonic into following her to a group of combots in the forest. Sonic leaves to warn the others, only to find Tails, Bunny, and others have all gone robot. He returns to Nahol and finds Robotnik. Sonic wakes up from his nightmare, and as it turns out, his award from the start was spiked with a virus. Sonic suspects Robotnik had this thing set up before he lost, but Chuck reveals that Robotnik didn't have anything to do with it at all. The end. Stop making stories that, oh, this happened, but no, not really. It was an illusion.
Stop making stories. No,
Just stop.
Stop making shit up. This
I have
isn't real. This
nothing-
didn't happen.
I literally don't have anything to say except, like, just stop. That's why
civilization. If Sonic Archie stopped at issue 51, it's a picture of the futuristic city.
Me consulting the Sonic Bible. This didn't happen. Stop making up false stories. This goes in the fiction section of the library. Okay, cool. I want to start off not talking about the comic. Because this is going to be great. We got our new writer, Carl Bowlers, also known as his pseudonym, Benny Lee, also known as the guy who took half of the possessions in the divorce. He's okay. We haven't gotten to that part of the lore yet, but he is another person that was involved in the lawsuits against Archie for taking his characters kind of, I guess, in line with many other people, including one Ken Penders, who started, I don't even think he started that, but like that legal rigmarole of Sonic OC fights, Deviant on Girl Wild.
Whenever we do get to a point where it might be a good idea to talk about that more in depth, like, boy, we have to spend some time researching that stuff.
Yeah, we do have to research, because I think it's really interesting. But until then, just know that Carl Bowlers, important part of the Sonic, Carl Ballin, important part of the Sonic universe, because he becomes one of the staple writers for a while. He's very, very pivotal in this point of the story. He does a lot of work. He introduces a lot of characters, creates a lot of plots, has a lot of good ideas. I'll go into that later as it becomes relevant. But I did research on the man today, and I was surprised on some of the things I read. But let me give you a little history on Carl Bowlers. So he actually wrote for Marvel Comics, and his notable works were with the Emma Frost series and X-51. I don't know any of this. I'm not a Marvels guy. I didn't do in-depth research. I just know that Emma Frost looked kind of hot, so I was like, okay. That's it.
She's hyper old, just so you know.
She's hyper old. Even better. MILFs are in now. There's other notable things that he worked on, like Machine Man and Muties. I don't know what any of that is. I've only vaguely heard of Machine Men. But
is that like Cyborg?
I don't know, man. Is that a Marvel thing?
I think it's Marvel, yeah.
But yeah, apparently it's pretty prominent in those scenes. But the cool part kind of starts a little bit. This is okay. I'm like trying to figure out how should I present this information, because it's kind of crazy. Okay, I'll just go. So he is currently a senior editor at Valiant Entertainment. This is a comic publisher that was formed from the previous Marvel editor-in-chief, Jim Shooter, and a lawyer from Marvel, Steven Masarski. They formed this enterprise called Voyager Communication. Well, it was owned by Voyager Communications, I should say. And Acclaim ended up buying Valiant Entertainment in 1994 and owned them until they went bankrupt in 2004. The Valiant Entertainment currently exists as part of DMG Entertainment, which was the studio behind Iron Man 3 and Looper, and like a bunch of localizations in China. But here's the really interesting thing. Valiant ended up publishing the Turok Dinosaur Hunter comics, and because of the acquisition, Acclaim made a bunch of video games based on their properties, and this includes Shadow Man, Armor Marines, and the Iron Man game from the Sega Saturn. It's come full circle. It does go back to Turok.
The second you said Acclaim, I knew where this was going.
Dude, you have no idea. I got the fucking googly eyes popping out of my head when I found out this is like sweet. So anyway, Carl Bowler.
You know the meme image of the guy with all like the pictures and drawings and shit on the wall, like they're all like connecting and shit. That's like that's MegaFire is the guy, and there's a bunch of drawings of Turok and Sonic on the wall.
There's Sonic there's Turok. I can't believe it's all coming together. So yeah, Carl Bowlers also did the Nights into Dreams comic at Archie, which I haven't gotten to that yet, but I thought that was a pretty cool thing. I didn't actually read those comics, so but yeah, that's the big I wanted to give us a little background on Carl Bowlers and just know that he's going to be with us for a while on the project. Also the art, Sam Maxwell. He's done some prior works that we've talked about too here, but I don't think he's new.
No relation to Sam and Max.
No relation. Again, I enjoy Sam Maxwell's art. There's some roughness to it here and there, but overall, I think his is one of the styles I really enjoy on some characters, and on other characters, it's like you're probably still not used to this. And it
I
really
will say,
shows.
Sometimes reading the story, I had trouble following what was happening. And so
Yes.
I've got to say, I'm not exactly a fan of the artist.
No, his art is. I like his art, but not how he is drawn. Like not the composition of the pages, and part of that I feel like lies at fault with the editor. So I don't know who the editor is for these issues, but yeah, that's just my little 2 cents on that. What the fuck is up with the fly that just flies into our face in the very beginning and is never shown again? I thought it was like a Chekhov's gun, but it never ended up being a thing.
It's someone paid a lot of money to get their OC in for a little bit.
Front and center, might I add.
Yeah.
I completely missed the fly guy, so I wasn't sure what you were talking about.
How? It's the first page.
I forgot.
The first panel.
That's fair to forget about.
No, that's fair.
Apparently, this was initially going to be foreshadowing for the original intention of, actually, Sally did die, and right now that's just a robot Sally, and it's like, I'm glad that did not go through.
Yeah. So I was actually going to bring that up. The first few, as we read, we'll find these inconsistencies here and there, because the whole, I guess, like 10 issues after Endgame, or whatever it was called, issue 50, Penders wanted to kill Sally off. This is a well-documented fact, and Sega didn't allow that to go through. But a lot of planning went into setting up this plot where instead of Sally coming back, Sleeping Beauty-esque at the end there, she was dead and replaced with a robot, and it made everybody think, Sally was actually okay. She was pretending. Basically, that bullshit little shtick. So yeah, this was supposed to, you're right, it was supposed to foreshadow that. We see Sonic's race car bed for the first time. Remember that? It's important. It's not, but I think it's funny.
Doesn't he have a race car bed in the movie?
Oh, he does. Yeah, that's right. Well, there you go. This is where it all began. It all goes back to Sonic, baby.
And by extension, Turok.
Yep. There was one thing I wanted to point out, and that is, I like that Badniks are back, but goddamn, did they hype that Buzz Bomber? Like, this was the most hyped up Buzz Bomber in all of existence.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because the whole page made me feel like I was reading or like watching a Sonic Flash animation on Newgrounds, where the joke would be like, this Buzz Bomber is the coolest, meanest, the most elite of Robotnik's fighting squad, and then Sonic just defeats it in the next second or something, right? It's Super B. Cheeky monkey. What the fucking? Why did Krabby say that?
I don't know.
Anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. There's really good bunny art. I really like this specific little like I'm saying, I really like this guy's art, but goddamn, some of it looks really bad and some of it looks really good. It's like two extremes. And also his just framework, his what's the word, storyboarding, I guess. I don't know if that's the proper term for comic books, but just the composition is not great. He's still knocking it out of the park with the big brain Anton. Beavis and
really
Butthead looking Anton.
Antoine to look at.
Yeah.
Settle down, Beavis.
Yeah. Also, this whole issue just really likes eyeballs. Like, he keeps focusing on eyeballs and weird. I don't know. This was a weird issue. It was kind of nothing. I really didn't like this issue. I hated the plot. I hated the way that they set it up. I've always disliked this. This is one of those rare cases where I already had a preconceived, like, dislike of this specific issue. Mainly because I remembered almost nothing from it. And also, I remembered, like, just really hating that plot of, like, it's a virus.
You know what got me is that they pull Robotnik immediately after he's killed, and I'm like, come on. I know it doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah, I forgot, but that occurred to me as well. It's like, we got rid of Robotnik. Now we can do fresh new things, like Robotnik.
Robotnik. I think, in a way, I kind of like that. Of all the things that, you know, like, just to play devil's advocate, there's like an element of, nah, he's dead. Like, he's gone. Type, like, they're doubling down on it, you know. It's like, here's Robotnik, just kidding, it was a fake, he's actually gone for real, because then they just double down, like, this wasn't Robotnik, you know. It's like, oh, who done it? It's a whole new setup, right? So in a way, it's like, yeah, gut reaction, it's like, okay, you're pulling him back out again, but it was also kind of like a double, like, fake out. I kind of dig that in a way. It's like, you know, like, fresh out of the pan, maybe it was kind of too ham-fisted, especially right after that end of the 50th issue. But
I think they should have just, like, left him. They're just not done.
I mean, this whole issue should just not have happened.
Yeah,
I think. Which, unfortunate introduction to Carl Bowlers. Didn't really find anything wrong with the writing, like the text, like the speeches, the words. I thought that was okay. Actually, it was probably one of the more okay, like, dialogues between the characters, you know, even though it was all fake. Yeah, I know. I got nothing more to really say about 51. We can move on to 52 if you guys have nothing else to talk about.
I got nothing.
Very rare opportunity here. You don't hear me babbling for like 20 minutes about inconsequential bullshit.
on to the next.
Alright, number 52. Sonic and Tails come across a flying suit. Sonic tries to run after it as it leads into a cave. We are immediately then taken to some film noir alternate universe starring Sonic in a suit. This world, Sally sends him on a mission to find Nicole, who contains a bunch of files on Robotnik within her memory bank. Sonic returns to Sally with Nicole, but Robotnik appears and has his guys hold Sally at gunpoint. Using a ring, Sonic averts the disaster by going really fast. The two escape, and he leads Sally through a secret underground tunnel to get Sally to the airport without Robotnik noticing. The end. Then the real Sonic leaves through the other side of the cave and reunites with the others. And none of that actually happened, I guess. The end. And then there was First Contact side story, where Sonic takes Nicole to a... Wait, what the heck? Sonic. Yeah, I wrote the wrong name. Sally takes Nicole to a computer room and contacts various freedom fighters across Mobius. She explains the events of the Endgame arc to everybody, and she reveals that after everything was done, the broken Doomsday device left behind a number of alternate realities appearing around the planet. She warns everybody to stay away from these zones, but before she can explain why, connection is lost. And that's 52.
Wow.
Well, what do we think of Brown Eye Sonic?
It's enough to make me want to write very long forum posts about how terrible it is.
I thought something was fucking wrong. Now I know why.
So, okay, when I first read this, the cover, is this supposed to be a Casablanca reference? Because
Probably.
It's Humphrey Bogart's attire, but he doesn't have a... As I understand, there's no stopwatch or pocket watches in Casablanca, so I'm not sure if it's actually supposed to be Casablanca or not. I don't know. Like, my
changing the
immediate
homework
reaction
just
was,
enough so it has something.
I guess so. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Okay.
I do love that this brand new villain concept they have.
Of Robotnik?
Yeah.
I can't believe they did it again, dude.
Yeah, they did it again. They have an explanation as to why, but this is the kind of thing that could have been like a neat filler arc, like before he was defeated. So I kind of wish they could have given him a rest. It didn't ruin it for me, but it would have been nice if they could throw in like some other guy.
I like the film noir stuff. I do.
Yeah, this one was okay.
Neat.
Boy, it'd be really funny for like the next 20 issues. It was like non-stop stories like this of like just fucking imaginary scenarios with Robotnik still there. Why'd you kill him?
I forgot to mention, the writer for this is Tom Rolston, which I believe he actually wrote for the Sonic Super Special 1, the Battle Royale. I don't know much about him. And I tried to look stuff up and I couldn't really find a ton. So if anybody knows anything about him, I'd love to hear it. I like to know about the writers and the artists that we get on this. So it's kind of interesting, and I feel like other people find that interesting too. If anybody finds anything, tweet at us. If anybody's listening, a comment on the whatever platform you're on, email us. I don't actually know if I have my email out in there anywhere, but yeah. I do want to know more about this guy, because I don't think he appears very often. I think this is like maybe his last appearance, actually.
Yeah, I think it might be.
Which, I mean, maybe that's what they were trying to like get people to. I think it's really funny, the suit flying around in the very like first time. It's just like all I could think of is like, hey kid, want to see a magic trick? Also, the dancing animals are, there's so much happening in these three characters, which I've posted. The one guy on the right looks like the Chad. The other dude is like falling over. And then the next panel that they appear in when Sally is sexy walking in, I just couldn't. I made this edit because this is all I could think of when I saw it. It's the one where Sally's walking and the bear thing is like, hi there, and it just looks like the meme of the guy looking away from his girlfriend and another girl passing.
Someone put a lot of detail into Sally's back.
Yeah, she looks so off compared to other things. I don't in the like throughout the comic, but maybe that's the point, I guess. I don't know. This is where I wanted your help, MG. There's a scene in it where Noir Sonic is getting chased by Robotnik's robots, and I'm fairly certain they're all references to something. Now this is what I think they are. There's an R2-D2. I mean, it's just his head, but he has a body, so that's kind of off. But I think that's R2-D2 on the right. I think the bot in the back is I wrote Lost in Space Bot because I don't remember what the movie is called, but I remember watching a B movie thing or of like some robot lost in space. I don't know.
That guy up top, is that the fucking dude from Mystery
Science Theory?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
think so.
I knew it looked familiar. It's just that I'm now remembering.
He's the only one I really recognize.
Yeah, I think two of these are Tom Servo and Crow from Mystery Science Theater.
Wait, which one is Tom Servo?
I wrote down the names, but I don't remember which one's which.
I
know the top right one is definitely.
No, that's R2-D2.
No, top.
No. The top one.
Oh, the very up one. Yeah,
the top one and Domehead.
Really, the one on the bottom?
Yes.
I thought that was the robot from Lost from Space or something. Lost in Space. I don't know. Maybe not. I that's why I was. What's the one on the left? Because my initial thought was, is that the assassin droid, like from Knights of the Old Republic? But I don't think that existed.
Well, I
don't think no.
No, I thought it's kind of hard to tell. Trying to look at this. No, I thought the top left one was one of the robots from Mystery Science Theater.
It is.
Yeah, it is. Which one? Oh, okay, I see it now.
So like the only one I'm clueless about is like the bottom middle one. It's like I don't know what that is, if it's anything.
How old is Mystery Science Theater?
I think it was out about that time.
Well, I'm like, look it up and like it didn't air yet, and you'd be like, "What the fuck is happening?"
What the?
I'm such a dumbass. I was looking at the dude up top. I was looking at him holding Nicole, and I was like, "Why is he carrying a toaster?" Oh, it's Nicole, duh.
Oh, 1988. Okay, so it definitely. I honestly, Dorko, I started like be like, what if it really is? It's the butterfly effect. Or
Morphogenetic field.
Science Theater took the robot designs for this one issue of Sonic. Both realities are unsatisfactory. I think. Oh, there was one more thing I wanted to bring up. Actually, this is some fun facts. So, in the second story, First Contact, which is written by Carl Bohlers, also, by the way, the monitors where Sally goes to talk to everybody has some cool stuff. Well, first off, it looks like she caught the Chaotix mid-action shot. Because why is SBO running so quickly to get to the camera? He really wants to see Princess Sally.
Oh, Sally's contacting us. Strike a pose.
Yeah. Look good, boys. Look good.
I know these are all established like characters from before, but God, in that first panel, on the top left, that looks like Yogi Bear.
Yogi Bear. I thought it was Yogi Bear for a while until if they didn't zoom in to the face and like it's Sela from the Arctic Freedom Fighters. Okay,
but I want it to be Yogi.
I don't.
All of these characters look like Disney animals except that mouse. That's just a fucking DeviantArt the Hedgehog ass mouse.
Wait, what mouse?
No, the one above the horse and below the other ones.
No, hold on. Okay, it's not a...
It's not
it's a mongoose. Okay, so let me go through these from the top left down. So we got Sela from the Arctic Freedom Fighters. We got Lupe from the Wolf Pack. We've got Wallace Wallaby from the Down Under Freedom Fighters. On the top right is a bear who is actually from SatAM. I think his name was Polo. I looked him up, and it's Polo the bear. And then underneath him is a character who we don't know yet, but she will be a prominent character, Mina Mongoose. Invented by Carl Bohlers, one of the assets taken in the divorce. And then below her is a horse named Eric, who will also appear in a future, very near future, in like 58 or 57, story involving Sonic. He's not a major character or anything, but there he is. They reuse these characters again later, which is kind of interesting.
Would you say that the horse is the Wedge Antilles of this story?
No, I don't think so. I think Wedge Antilles had a more prominent role in the world. He appears in some stuff, I guess.
Who is the Wedge Antilles of the Freedom Fighters?
Oh man, I almost kind of want to say Amy Rose for like the first chunk of the comics is kind of that until she becomes a main character. So I feel like she would be the Wedge Antilles. I don't know, like there's a lot of good candidates, but like
all right.
Well, what do you think? Hold on, let's hear it.
No, I agree. You're right.
Oh, you agree?
No,
okay.
I was gonna apologize to the audience for that that Star Wars jump scare right there. We'll go back to Sonic now.
Apologize to me.
No.
No.
I'm gonna bring up Star Trek next. Just watch out.
Yeah, Dorko, who do you think is the Wedge Antilles of this comic series?
I'm on the edge of my seat, like sweating about the potential Star Trek jump scare. I was just gonna say that I did catch like, oh wow, that does look a lot like Mina, and then I got curious and looked into it a little bit. I'm like, oh, I guess they had her design ready for quite a while because she doesn't actually properly show up for a little bit.
Nope. Yeah. No, you know what's really funny? It's not funny, actually. It's kind of sad. I think I didn't want to bring this up until later, but I'll actually go into this because it does kind of relate to the Mina, that observation you made. apparently Carl Bollers had a lot of stuff that he was setting up, or that he wanted to set up. I don't think maybe like crumbs here and there like managed to make their way into the comic, but not in a way that it was like the Sally death, where when it was changed, it was very obvious. There was a lot of stuff that he would set up. I don't want to give details because it does go into stuff that happens later in the comics. Sort of, they get repurposed, but I think he really joined this project with a lot of ideas. I don't know that for a fact. I can't speak on that, but like it feels like just reading from like into him and his profile, it really felt like there was a lot of stuff that was cut that just never even made it to like pass. But he had a lot of ideas, a lot of things that he wanted to set up. Some were really, I didn't like them, and I'm glad they didn't go through, but some were kind of cool and interesting. So yeah, I will say there is one, I guess I'll say it now because it really doesn't come up in any capacity, where I think he wanted Sonic and Amy to get into a relationship that was hidden from Sally, and I was like, damn, I'm so glad we didn't need that at all in this. But yeah, dodged a real bullet there.
I'm lacking like context because I'm like
there is none.
Because it's like, because I'm just vaguely, like, I vaguely know things as like I was under the impression that there's a period of the comic with plenty of nonsensical romance stuff going on. So like,
right.
Taking that out is like, how much did that really remove is what I'm wondering.
Okay,
like just
right,
one less plot thread.
I guess, but the plot thread was I can't say anything. There is, okay, you're right, you're not wrong, but I don't know how to say. We got to get to it. You'll see. It's really stupid. It's worse. Listen, I wish it was just nonsensical romance shit. It gets worse. It's worse than that somehow. There are layers of that I'm like, some of it's not. I mean, okay, it is the writer's fault, but some of it not entirely, because I think Sega wanted Sonic to stop having like relationships with specific characters. So I feel like it became a tug of war.
That's
there's
probably
so
like,
much.
Like that's like a Sega mandate where I'm like, thanks.
Thanks, but also like a little late, don't you think?
A little late, don't you think?
A little rum. Like, no, it's like, okay, that would have been fine if you know, the thing with Sally wasn't set up for like 100 and something issues before that mandate went through. Like, at some point it's just like, why you fucking rock the boat and then create this shitty plot line. It just permeates the comic for like a solid like 20 issues. Like, we didn't need that. Whatever.
Yeah, I didn't really think about it from that angle,
thoughts.
but yeah, I guess it is kind of unfortunate to have like something like, you know, Sonic and Sally being a thing teased like so early on, and then
and continuous, like, it's not even like a little thing that was like, oh, it was kind of sprinkled in there. We couldn't have caught that. No! She kisses him!
I don't know how much attention they paid to the comics, but
probably not much, honestly. I mean, they had apparently a rep from Sega that was constantly on
I can think of at least one moment where they noticed what was going on and were like, stop!
Yeah,
but I guess I can wait until we get there.
Oh, okay, I see. We haven't gotten there yet.
It's one of the covers. It just cracks me up when I think about it.
Oh, is it in this batch?
No. I'm thinking, I don't remember. It might be like super far from now. I don't remember.
We'll
All right,
see.
but that's 52. I don't have anything else to say about it. I don't know if you mentioned, but like, apparently alternate realities are popping around Knothole, or not Knothole, but like everywhere. And Knothole, this is important. I don't think Bob mentioned this, but Knothole Village exists verbatim. Even Knothole Village exists in a temporal zone 3 hours ahead. The only way in and out is through the Great Oak Slide. I'm not going to give any more. I'm not going to elaborate.
That. Oops.
That's important.
It's important.
But I feel
it's actually important.
I don't know what word I'm looking for. I feel so.
It's stupid. There's another word I could use.
I can't. At this moment, I can't believe it. I'm like, is this stuff really important? I'm not gonna believe it till I see it.
Yeah, it's important. It's funny because it's important. It's stupid because when I read it, I didn't think about it either. I take back a lot of what I said in the beginning of this podcast. I did not take into the account when I was talking about my like appreciation for some of the bigger, like the bigger picture plot drawouts, that I did in fact have to like pull out a wiki every few like 10 issues to make sure that I am following these things that they're pulling out their ass, which aren't really out their ass. They're actually pulling them from small shit like this, where Sally in one yellow box makes a offhanded at the back of this is the final page of the comic, and it becomes something they use in the future. But when we get there, I'll say what. I'll probably forget. So just remember my frustration now.
Okay.
All right, we on Knuckles the Echidna, episode 4. Knuckles number 4.
Knuckles number 4.
The Lost Paradise arc. It's the 4, 5, and 6.
Here we fucking go. We're getting to the meat of the
Writer Ken Penders, art by Manny Gallen. Just so we have that out of the way. It's all throughout the whole 3 issues here.
Yes. So, Vector goes swimming and is attacked by one of the cloaked echidnas working for Kragok from forever ago. I forget what session we read up on that. She tries to sneak up on Knuckles with a taser, but is caught. She explains that after Kragok ran away, his space self-destructed. So this echidna named Julie Sue wanted to rejoin the Legion, but for some reason could not. She apparently had to find Knuckles and does not even know why. I'm not even sure this is actually explained this session. But anyways, the Chaotix arrive on the scene and alert Knuckles about some disturbances going on in the Marble Zone. Knuckles' dad watches the conversation from his computer room. Why does he have a computer room again? The heroes decide...
computer room!
Yeah, Vector's here. How about that? They decide to investigate stuff. Julie Sue is allowed to come along. Knuckles and Julie explore the... What? What's so fucking funny?
Just the way you said that, it's just like, she's allowed to come along.
Yeah, they bring her along. I forget their whole logic behind that, but whatever. So all is forgiven. They explore some ruins when suddenly Echidna Opalis, I believe that's how it's spelled, appears in the distance. Then as Knuckles meets up with his mom, the city and its inhabitants completely vanish. Knuckles is aware that Archimedes has an explanation for all this and asks him what's going on, but Archimedes says Knuckles isn't ready to learn about it yet. The city reappears. Knuckles and Julie enter to find the citizens freaking out like it's the end of their world. The two find a statue of the Guardian Hawking, creator of the Hyperzone projector. Whatever is happening, Knuckles wants to find out what happened to Hawking and his projector for some answers. But before they can do that, some cops show up. To be continued.
Okay, when you said something like I don't know what the logic was with that. Like my response is that there was none.
There was none. Okay. Like, I miss shit a lot, so I'm not sure if it's just the writing bad or me brain bad. Maybe both.
Maybe both. I think
both.
Both. No. I'm just gonna start us off with this picture. There's a lot going on here.
Okay, yeah, I took
a jump scare.
I took a screenshot of the top left panel.
Okay, there's so much happening. I just the top left one.
I just thought it was really funny out of context, but
I never was about this style, or
it's the fact that she's like stripping.
No, she's just looking at them under. See, I thought it was really
like
funny.
Knuckles being like, "Give her a chance, Vector," and then you have his dad watching secretly through a camera.
So,
on the go ahead.
You forgot the biggest thing in this issue. Vector's feet.
No, I didn't forget that. I have that. I just didn't want to start us off on feet.
But that's what the issue did.
Okay. Okay, so Vector appears with no shoes on for some reason, swimming underwater. I guess, okay, that sounds really stupid out of context, and I'm like, for some reason, this man doesn't have his clothes on when he's swimming. But, like, the very next page that he appears to come up from the water, he's got his shoes on magically. What the hell?
Why do his gloves stay on?
The gloves stay on.
Why?
I don't want them to be off, but why?
Why does he have his Walkman on underwater?
It's waterproof.
I didn't notice this when I first was reading it, but like he actually does have his shoes on him, like on his back. I guess like they don't draw it, but I guess he quickly puts his shoes on before he jumps out the water.
Oh my god, I didn't notice the shoes on his back. That's actually a really good.
I can't be seeing without my
Then
shoes.
why did he take them off?
I don't know.
Better for the webbed feet. He doesn't have webbed feet. That's the problem.
I guess he just really likes to swim without his shoes on, but he has them on him.
You gotta let the dogs breathe.
We're talking too much about Vector's feet.
So we're gonna start another timer for Vector's feet.
No, I'm not. This is the last time that I remember his feet appearing.
Good.
Okay, but I wanted just one more thing on that previous picture where, out of context, I'm sure if we give her enough rope, she's bound to hang herself.
Yeah,
Knuckles, what did you mean by that?
Like, what is that? Is that a phrase? Like, do people say this?
I don't know. Ken Penders, what the fuck?
I never heard that in my life. I didn't get it either.
Okay, but also the fact that Knuckles' dad just says, "You have that backwards, Knuckles," and then the face appears below the advertisement placement is so funny. I don't know, something about like, "You have that backwards, Knuckles."
So when they're in the city, MegaFire, I'm sure you saw the ships that they put in here.
Yeah, no, I saw the ship. Well, I saw ships. I saw the not the X-wing. Yeah, the X-wing.
Yeah, there's
but
an
that's
X-wing.
all I knew.
There's Luke's land speeder, which is flying now, and that has R2 in it.
Oh, it does have R2. I see it.
That tall building in the background is just straight up a Jetsons house.
Which the like ring-looking one?
The tall spire, yeah. And that red ship going next to it, I want to hear you guess what that is.
I don't even know. I can't. I honestly, the only thing I saw in here, I thought maybe that was the land speeder, like on the bottom left. But I don't know what the top right one is. I didn't even acknowledge
the
it.
red
really.
one.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what it is?
Oh, of course. I was actually going to ask you. That was one of the things I wanted to consult you on.
I'm shocked I know this, and I only know this because it goes back to Batman. That is Space Ghost's ship.
Oh my god. Okay.
You can even see this. You can even see the spot on it where the logo would normally be.
Is it a little triangle thing?
The little triangle, yeah.
I didn't notice any of this.
Well, in the same panel. What about the thing on the bottom right, actually, under the tube, the hyper tube?
Bottom right.
Next to the coolest guy in Echidnopolis. Who, by the way, I took a screenshot of him and all I titled it as the coolest guy.
He should be the main character.
Hey, I'm the Fonz, Knuckles.
The little UFO thing?
Yeah, is that anything? Is that something?
I think that's just a made up little thing.
No, it's not a wig. It's his real hair.
We need to see if we need to bounce him up. Just bounce around like Anton's.
Yeah, you're right. Also, the city is called Echidnopolis. The place that we thought was destroyed in previous issues apparently is hidden in a force field. It is quite literally a Kanto Johto situation where they looked left and they found Echidnopolis was actually okay. Somehow Knuckles, who is the guardian of the island, who apparently has explored every square inch of this. Well, actually, no, that's not true. They did establish early on that he was still discovering new things on about the island. So, never mind. I take that back. I guess it's maybe plausible he missed an entire city behind a force field. I feel like I'm going to talk about this after we get through all the issues that we've covered today. But he runs into his mom.
Yep. He ran into his mom.
Yeah. And then she disappears.
Is that the whole statement?
Yeah.
Okay. I expected a follow-up.
No, I mean, I don't know what to say.
The way you worded that, I was expecting more to come.
No, I mean, he ran into his mom. I mean, she disappeared. There's a lot, like, I don't know. I like Echidnopolis a lot. I just wish it wasn't presented like this. I forgot how it's introduced.
Wild.
Julie Sue is right. Wild. Absolutely wild.
I don't like... I almost forgot to point this out, because I feel like it's not the first time it happened. Knuckles inquires Ant-Man for answers, like, oh no, you're not ready yet. I don't like that method of, like, not telling the reader everything about it.
Very bad.
Yeah,
very bad. We all hate that. Everybody hates this. Nobody I know that likes this. Even I, the Penders Defenders, am like, I hate this guy. I hate the way that he wrote this character. I hate these cop-outs.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't the first time it happened. I'm pretty sure it won't be the last.
No, it won't. Not until Ant-Man becomes better, which is later.
Looking forward to it.
I will say this is like the beginning of the Knuckles OC's arc, which is great, because this is study up, boys. I hope you didn't forget my earlier proposition of us designing and or rating Knuckles OCs.
I didn't even think about like the concept of like design your own Knuckles, your own Echidna.
I think we gotta do that. Like, I didn't want it at first. I was thinking, but now I'm like, I actually really, really want to do that. I feel like we would all have really good ones. I like the Remington. I like his design. I will say that is one of the things that I really like about these early Knuckles stuff is Remington.
Which one is fucking
the cop.
I don't know any of their names. Oh, I see.
I don't think you actually get his name, so you're fine. He didn't introduce himself yet. My bad.
Maybe his name was there somewhere, but maybe I'm crazy.
In the next issue, I mean, if we have object permanence, like if we have only like momentary memory of like we're on this one,
they're all just Knuckles. I'll never remember their names except maybe the pink one.
I can remember.
You wrote Hawking. Honestly, I was surprised.
I wrote it down. That's the only reason I remember.
You said Hawking so many times. It was almost like you were trying to fish for good boy points. Like, you're writing a paper and you're like, okay, if I say these words, then it's going to show I really know my stuff. You surprised me. I'm happy.
See, I'm not so bad at this summary shit sometimes.
No, your summaries are great, Bob. Yours are always good.
I think the fact that you have to summarize Ken Pender's stories, I feel like is just like you should be getting paid for this.
Surprisingly,
what a task! What a task
dude,
this is.
No, but listen. He somehow summarizes the Ken Pender story really well. Like it flows pretty well. Yeah. It's surprisingly cohesive, and that's the thing about the Pender story. It's so much bullshit in between, but like it's really like the structure is there. The setups are there. They're clear. It's just
I don't know.
The garbage in between is muddled.
I guess it says something how unique Pender's is at this, because I immediately noticed how easy it was to do that for 51 and 52. And then as soon as I get to the Pender story, it's like I keep having to reread shit. Like, did I speed read or did I miss something? I can't
no,
do
he
this
writes
shit.
so much. He writes so somehow he fits
Why
so
doesn't
many
he tell
words
us
in.
everything?
We just don't know.
I mean, I guess I guess you can call it like the mystery box writing, where you just write in you write in mysteries constantly, and to get the audience interested of like what's in the box. I have to keep watching to find out what's in the box.
There's just too much.
There's too many boxes. There's a box inside the box inside the box.
Dorko, don't speak that too loud. J.J. Abrams will appear. And then he'll present a mystery to us that'll have a really shitty ending.
Have J.J. Abrams direct the Ken Penders Knuckles movie.
That's right, Knuckles. You're a Palpatine.
Shut up. He's already the Guardian. He's already the Chosen One. He's fucking Jesus Christ.
You're right. He'd go to Octu and then sit around and do nothing.
I will say, Bob asking like if you thought you missed something about Lara Sue and why she's pursuing Knuckles.
No, it's just that in general, with I think especially with stuff that Penders did like this, the way he does stuff, he leaves out so many things. It's just that in general, I keep having to go back just to make sure I didn't like just miss stuff along the way. Is the thing.
So this issue was a little tainted for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Tainted.
Because I unfortunately know who Lara Sue is.
Oh well, I mean, yeah, that's
thanks to what Ken Penders has been doing in the recent history.
Yeah. But like, please don't confuse them.
I can. I want to see her team up with Space Obama.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, you're right. That is okay. Well, she kind of no, not really. Maybe.
Please don't tell me she teams up with Space Obama in this.
No.
I don't know how that would work.
Maybe Space George Bush. I can't. No, I don't think
Nuclear.
so. I'm trying to remember.
Nuclear throne.
Before Bob gets into the summary, I want to post the couple things from the next cover, the 52 cover, which first off, the mysterious, the femme fatale.
Why is the dreadlock metal? I thought
because she's cyborg.
I thought it was hair.
No, that's their whole thing. The Dark Legion loves technology, so they have cybernetic
No, I thought
implants.
the dreadlocks on echidnas were hair, so she has a hair dreadlock, and that's weird.
Yeah, we just don't know.
It's nonsensical, but I actually do think it looks neat.
I like it, yeah. I like her design a lot.
They drew that well. I'll give it that.
I had to give a warning. I'm about to do another Star Wars jump scare.
Oh, awesome.
It reminds me of that one Twi'lek from that really, really shitty Star Wars game.
There's so many of those. Which one?
Dark Alliance, I think it was.
No, I didn't play that one.
You're better off. The only good part about it was that Kyle Katarn shows up. But it's beardless Kyle, so it sucks.
Beardless. We get a preview of Coyote Dog. Yeah, Coyote soldiers and
Are they dingoes?
The Dingoes. Sorry, yeah, my bad. Wow, what was a moment of weakness. Me in the previous episode listing out all the fucking characters on the computer monitor. Me looking at dogs. Coyote.
Coyote.
Starwolf.
This cover is really cool. I like this cover a lot. I don't know. I like the colors. I like the little wave of energy flying off the top. I don't know. Something about it is really evokes some good juice in my brain.
Does Lara Sue actually have that gun in the comic?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I never noticed. Really?
Yeah, I believe she uses it. Yeah. It's a double barrel shotgun thing. Yeah.
It's a really tiny pistol, man.
It's like the hand cannon. It's cool. She uses it. She uses it quite a bit, actually.
I already forgot.
Something about this whole cover and actually the subsequent image in the page after the cover, everything about it just kind of screams like mid 90s or mid 2000s, early 2000s internet comics.
Yeah.
Do with that with what you will. Everybody has different feelings on that. All I'm gonna say is positive for me. But I know it's a disease take, so.
Anyway, are we ready to jump into Knuckles 5?
Mm-hmm.
Give us that summary.
Knuckles 5. Knuckles' is dad and that other guy. Remember how I remember the name of Hawking like 5 times? I don't know these two dudes.
It's Locke. Locke is his father's name.
Locke is his father's name. Who's the other guy again?
I don't think we were introduced to him yet.
I thought it was that dude who teleported into his computer one day, but I must be confused. But anyway, Knuckles' dad and this other guy talk to each other in the library, remaining completely still so that this panel can be copy-pasted for the whole page. The Echidna guy reads Star Wars and doesn't contribute anything to the conversation other than IDK, lol. Meanwhile...
The delivery is really good, though.
Knuckles and Julie Sue are escorted to her room, are seated, and then sent flying down the chair tubes in different directions. Knuckles meets a guardian, one of his ancestors. I believe is also talking. Ancestor shows Knuckles a recording of his younger self breaking into a storage depot, getting into a fight with the Dingoes, some kind of group of warmongers aiming to steal technology to war against others. Later, in the video, he breaks the Guardian vow to use certain technology to block the missile strikes launched by the Dingoes, although radioactive dust remains. So then, by making the hyperzone projector, he is able to science away the dust and the Dingoes. The old Guardian escorts Knuckles to some statues and yells at him for a little bit. And then a tremor occurs, and then we cut to Julie Sue, who hadn't done anything but stay captive in a room at the end of her chair fun ride. The alarms go off because there's a dingo attack in Echidna. Also, the Dingoes have Knuckles' mom hostage. The end.
Yep. We see the appearance of the Knuckles hat for the first time in this issue, worn by one of his ancestors, who we did not get a name for yet. But the old man is hawking.
Yes, I didn't mention that. This dude is hawking.
That dude is hawking, and yeah, we get the Knuckles, the Knuckles hat from the animated movie.
So, I think it's in these next two issues. On the comic I was reading, in the middle of dialogue, you go to the next page, and then suddenly you're reading a Flintstones comic for a hot minute.
Oh yeah, the Fruity Pebbles advertisement.
The space-time continuum is out of control in this Flintstones dimension.
It's funny because Knuckles gets like he the chair falls into the ground. So it kind of looks like he just falls into the Fruity Pebbles dimension.
Oh, I was gonna say it was funny that there was like a Flintstones ad, and then he quotes the Jetsons.
Oh man,
fantastic.
But yeah, so we get introduced to another. I have no thoughts. Go ahead. Let's go to the next one.
Okay.
I was just gonna say one thing.
Go ahead.
Which is that there's at least one instance where it's Ken Penders acknowledging the like is it like Julie Sue says like, you're pretty well prepared for people who renounce technology.
Yeah.
he's aware of the nonsense, but although there's not a good answer for it, but I guess he's aware of it at least.
Yep.
But yeah, that's all I got on that.
I don't really have much to say. I guess the break into the depot looked cool, but then it got really silly when they just started launching missiles.
I will say I don't know. Like, again, it's the big plot. I like the idea, like the way he introduces those two. I do like the idea that there's like an antagonistic force to the Echidnas. It does become interesting, to say the very least, later. But yeah, it really feels rushed. Like everything about this feels rushed. I do like the past, like the flashback. I think that's probably the best part of this issue, if not this like selection of 3. I don't know, like the background, the build up to this, like it feels too rushed. I do like the idea behind it.
I don't know. I just have this feeling like with. I don't know, like it could be like every story so far by Penders. I'm not sure, but it's just like you can't really write stories that are happening in the moment. Like there's always flashbacks and flashbacks and exposition and some time ago, and it's like can we write something that's just here are these characters right now doing something right now and now.
No,
why is there always flashbacks?
I feel like he just needed to dedicate some fucking, like, a side story. God damn it. Like, I don't know. Like, it feels really annoying because it's like, you're right. Nothing happens in the moment. I think the only thing that happened in the moment was probably I don't even think he wrote it, but the Sonic Showdown, Battle Royale special where they're fighting Mammoth Mogul. I think that's the only Knuckles story that I could think of that's, like, in that. But you're 100% right, and that it really does take away from the story because, again, I don't think that the flashback stuff is bad. Just I hate that. At least he didn't do the thing where it's jumping back and forth this time.
We're gathering the breadcrumbs and we'll take them.
Yeah, man.
Like, at least there's something.
At least there's this. Yeah, it's an improvement. It's showing him for his character growth.
Consolation prize.
I guess that's all I have on this one, so we can move on.
Excuse me. Knuckles 6. Here are with Knuckles 6. Knuckles and Varsity Knuckles beat up some Dingoes to rescue Mom Knuckles. Great-Grandpa Knuckles gets a visit from his friend Grandpa Ant, who tells him that the Dingoes aren't actually to blame for the energy tremors, the Omega Wave that took place in Robotropolis at Endgame, caused some space rift muckery that is causing a bunch of zones to fight for, like, the one same space, and that makes bad stuff happen. Long story short, the Echidnas and the Dingoes are on a crash course to each other, and apparently only one gets to survive, I guess. The Dingoes line up a bunch of Knuckles Guardians to fucking die by firing squad. And then
they're just citizens, they're not even soldiers.
Right, and then Pink Knuckles and Red Sonic show up to save the day. The tremor situation worsens, and all the Knuckleses all get escorted to some underground bunker, while the hero Knuckleses go to confront the Dingo captain. The captain gets to a fight with our heroes, and after being subdued, Knuckles forces him to come along so that he can boss around his guys for us. Archimedes teleports him to safety with everyone else in the bunker, and then in a nick of time, Ancestor Knuckles activates the Hyperzone projector. Knuckles and the big dingo guy call off their battle as part of their truce for now, I suppose. Knuckles goes back to check on Hawking, but his whereabouts are unknown. He did, however, leave Knuckles with his special hat. The end.
He gets the hat. Yes!
Right. This was probably like the least happy I've ever been to see Knuckles get the hat.
There's no triumph. It all happened and resolved. Like, this is the part where I start to complain about it, like, going way too fast. It was just like, the world's falling apart. The wars are over. Okay, bye.
Yeah, it really sucks ass, doesn't it?
I don't know if this was like a speed reading problem or me just being tired or something, but I thought, was it like Varsity Knuckles you called him? Like, he was just kind of sitting there, and then he just kind of jumps in and starts fighting with Knuckles, and then he sticks around. And I was like, who is this guy?
All right, let me... Wait, do we really not see anything about him? I'm pretty sure they told us who he is.
Maybe they did. I don't know.
Okay, well, let me just go back through Bob's summary. Varsity Knuckles, I love the fact that the only thing that stuck with you is the line where he says, "I played varsity." Okay, first off, yeah, they capture Knuckles' mom, but most importantly, we get this little scene of the Chaotix with a very important tidbit. Which I have to find my screenshot. My bad. I should have had it ready to go.
When the camera pans to Vector and he's like, I wish we were doing something right now.
Yeah. It's like, guys, don't you think we shouldn't just be chilling? SBO has an invisible house on top of a tree.
Oh, shit, that
is all.
That
is the coolest thing I've seen.
Stuff level 100.
I didn't notice this until this read through, dude. It's very, very good. And he also has like an invisible ladder that he
Does he have an invisible jet?
Yeah, probably. He has an invisible Batmobile.
Okay. Shit, I don't... I wanted to like reference the thing from SpongeBob. I don't remember what it's called.
The
invisible
Boatmobile.
thing.
Yeah.
So the person that he rescues in his mom's house are all of his family, right? Because this is his mom's house that people got taken. So the Varsity Knuckles, his name is Wanamaker, and he is Knuckles' father-in-law, which maybe stepfather, sorry, not father-in-law, which maybe wasn't revealed yet, but that's okay. It doesn't fucking matter. It's
we have to take notes for
husband.
when we get to the Knuckles family tree.
Yeah, well, we get provided one later, so it's okay. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's the only correction. Oh, he's not a captain, Dingo. He's a general. His name is General Stryker. Please show him the respect that he deserves. He has the power glove, and it's bad.
Oh, but wait, I wanted to, like, did they properly introduce the I already forgot the fuck his name is that you just said.
General Stryker?
General Stryker. I'm not
No,
even
the
sure
Echidna.
Oh, Wanamaker?
Yeah, that thing.
That Varsity. Just call him Varsity Knuckles. I think not. I don't remember. No, they didn't. No.
Okay, yeah, because it really did feel like he was
Bob,
just...
you're
I thought he was
right.
just some civilian
Yeah.
who wasn't actually supposed to be part of the story. He's just a nice guy who decided to help, just to make the Echidnas look good.
I mean, he was in his mom's house with his grandma. So there is that. I mean, that was actually, God, I didn't notice that. I didn't realize that he's just there. That's really funny out of context. He's just sitting there in the background all the time. Yeah, okay. That's it. Yeah, General Stryker. He has the power glove. It's really cool. He likes to punch. We always like punches. And then Knuckles remembers that he is a guardian who should probably, like, give equal rights to everybody living on his island, and starts in that role to try to mediate peace between the Dingoes and the Echidnas.
I noticed Knuckles used his catchphrase again.
Yeah, he did. I forgot to point out.
I was hoping nobody would point that out again.
We're all trying to just...
It's crunch time, baby.
If we don't acknowledge it, it'll go away.
I love this. I've posted a scene of his mom being held hostage with Wanamaker in the background, really sad, and Knuckles appearing. I don't know. This is really funny.
So why is Mr. Varsity in Darth Vader's outfit?
I don't know. I didn't even know that was Darth Vader's outfit.
Look, he's even got the Darth Vader underwear.
I don't think that's underwear. Kiddos don't wear pants. Usually. They wear belts. Remington has a belt on.
I can't believe there's an Echidna named Remington. Come on.
I mean, a lot of these names are just... What are these?
Well, Remington's a gun manufacturer.
Oh.
So that's a little more...
He's a cop.
But I mean,
know.
clearly,
I
think Ken Penders likes sci-fi. I think this is a pretty safe guess.
Yeah, probably from
Explains
something.
all the techno babble.
Ken Penders was looking at his gun collection. He's like, that's a good name for an Echidna.
The techno babble doesn't stop. It never ends. Yeah, I got nothing, you guys.
Let's move on.
That's a good name for an Echidna. Nerf.
We do get a Dingo character later on who is one of my favorites in the series. Very excited. Just so we all have visibility on this, in the little after the cover page where it just tells you the Lost Paradise, the name of the arc, the title is actually Knuckles the Echidna Book 6. So they're called the books, not issue.
The novels.
The novels, which honestly at this point I wish it was a novel, because this man needs some space to fucking write. Yep, that's all I got. I don't know. It's. I said it in the beginning. I'm not
impressed with
I guess
not impressed with the Knuckles stuff today.
I guess the last remaining thought I have is like, man, the Echidnas are kind of shitty.
Yeah, they're racist and they suck.
Yeah. It's like we have
that...
like this another story of like, oh, there's this other group that don't like the echidnas, and they're kind of valid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they also suck, but
no, yeah, because it kind of feels like it's this thing where it's like, the echidnas kind of suck, and so I gotta have to like write this other group to be obviously evil. So like at least the shitty echidnas are kind of the good guys, I guess.
See that's the thing. I think that's on purpose. I can't say it now, but like, yeah, you're right. They are. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, especially near the end, that the echidnas suck too, and that they're written that way on purpose. Because like I think that Knuckles' whole thing is he's supposed to start like, you know, taking on that like role above it all, which I'm actually a fan of that position that Penders writes him into. You know, all things aside, it is like sort of the thing I hate the most about canon Sega Knuckles, and that's the fact that he's the guardian of the island that doesn't guard anything. Except for the Master Emerald, which is really stupid. I mean, it's not really stupid, but it's like it's kind of disheartening, because even like when you're playing through like Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, it's like you feel like he's got like this like deeper meaning behind him. He's, you know, the mystery of his people, the fact that he's the last of his kind, he's a good treasure hunter, but it kind of feels like none of that is really fleshed out in the games. So it was kind of, you had to piece together some bits and pieces when you're a kid of like using this shit here. And the idea that he's like the guardian of the island and all of its inhabitants, I like that a lot, and I like the role that Penders writes into this story. I mean, it's very small. It's quite literally like 3 or 4 pages at the very end, but the setup for that is I like that. It's kind of suffers from that same problem that everything is sort of rushed with the whole story in general. So it's kind of very dipped into, but not like, it's very like minorly touched upon.
Not well paced, I suppose.
Not well paced. But the idea that I guess that plot device is a good one. I like. I think it becomes better later, and you're right. The Dingoes are set up to be like the bad guys, but I don't think they are like the bad guys in the same sense that Robotnik is a bad guy, I guess.
Sure, I guess.
They have more humanity to them throughout the scenes. I mean, you get the fucking eye patch one who's like the worst man, but then everybody else is kind of.
But then you just have like what we see them do is just like
the firing squads,
the firing squad, and then taking hostages. Like I feel like these are just things like here, like look at how fucked up these dingoes are.
Yeah, but I mean, okay. To be fair, taking hostages in a war is not that. That's actually probably a more positive look. If we're gonna really analyze to that degree, the firing squads, absolutely not. But the fact that they have both of these conflicting like representations is a very like that's on Pender's thing. Like if it just had them like taking people hostage and shit, probably a good way to represent the fact that they're invading, they're trying to take over, but for reason which is, you know, there's a history of warfare between these two peoples. Like there's a conflict that is seated.
But I feel like there also were like, as far as my memory goes, which is not the most reliable thing, but I feel like they were just kind of saying almost generically evil things. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't remember.
I mean, even looking at the expression in the last screenshot, I don't know.
Fair enough. He's holding. Wait a minute, I just noticed something. He's not holding a gun. Wait, he's supposed to be holding a gun, but he's not holding one.
That's what it looks like, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's the 4Kids.
He's using like the invisible gun, like from the Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, he's got the Yu-Gi-Oh gun. Wait, he's definitely supposed to be holding a gun. That's really funny, actually. Because I think he appears in another panel.
Yeah, I think we can move on if we want to.
No, he doesn't have a gun. Okay, yeah, sorry.
No, all right.
My bad.
Brave New World.
Yeah, that's it.
Brave New World. You ready?
Yep.
Let's jump into my longest summary yet. The freedom fighters arrive at Robotropolis to assess the damage done to the place that used to be known as Shangri-La. Everyone's in the middle of how much they have to clean up and how much Robotnik changed the place when they're suddenly under attack by a big robot called a Dynamech. They also notice Snively hiding out in a small computer room where I assume he is controlling the Dynamech. I don't know. They catch Snively and subdue the big robot. They resume rebuilding the city as planned. Meanwhile, Jeffrey talks to King Acorn on a laptop. Acorn warns Jeffrey of a fiend named Sir Charles the Hedgehog, we only now remember is Uncle Chuck. So Chuck meets up with a bunch of roboticization victims who got their minds back, telling them the good news that Robotnik was defeated. The bad news is that the original roboticizer is gone, leaving them without a way to change back. Some of them don't seem to mind too much, though, about this. It's like this dog that looks like it came out of Five Nights at Freddy's. You know
He's terrifying, man. He does look like a FNAF. Oh my god.
Meanwhile, Sonic and Tails spot a line of SWAT buses that are carrying boxes of stuff. Strangely, the SWAT bus completely ignore the two. So that's all fine and dandy for now. They then hear a cry for help and go check it out. An Armadillo freedom fighter got trapped under some rocks somehow. Sonic is unable to lift them up. Luckily, though, a roboticized polar bear, friend of Uncle Chuck's, is here to help. Chuck introduces Sonic to the roboticized gang, including Sonic's parents. Sonic isn't happy that his parents' whereabouts were kept a secret, and he storms off. Tails follows him and gives him a talk to help him feel better, so that's all hunky-dory. Later that evening, Jeffrey talks to Sally and desperately tries to escape the friend zone. Sonic really didn't like that attempt at kissing her, and they get into a big fight, only calling it off after the two get sprayed with water. Later that night, Acorn gives his daughter some secret orders. Sally's not content with these orders and goes to bed sad. Maybe it has to do with Uncle Chuck. I don't think they said. We don't know. The robot civilians the next day hold a vote and decide that they would start their own colony, even though Sally insists on welcoming them. And then finally, Snively plots revenge from within a prison cell. And that's the end of that chapter.
Don't mind me. I'm just linking a bunch of funny images.
Yeah, including the weird dog man.
Who wrote this, Storko? Who did the art?
Ken Penders, and on the art, it's Ken Penders and Pat Spaziante. I get the impression that it's mostly Ken because it doesn't look good, but I couldn't tell you for sure.
Just one little correction to make to you, Bob.
Yes.
Shangri-La is actually just a phrase.
Oh, that's why they said that. Never mind. Oops.
I really like...
It's Shangri-La is like paradise.
Oh, okay.
Oh, our paradise is what he said. Okay, I get it now.
Our Shangri-La, okay.
I was wondering why I hadn't seen that word before.
I really like this dual page spread quite a bit. I think it looks really neat. I wish that Hammond wasn't looking back at me. But other than that, pretty damn good.
He sees you.
He knows what you did.
I'm thinking the way I still have the conflicting feelings of like, man, it's kind of neat that they keep characters around, but it's also like, man, I really don't care for those four so much.
Fuck.
I'd be so happy if they were gone. And yeah, of course Jeffrey, but that goes without saying.
Jeffrey.
Every time he's on screen, I wish he was gone forever.
Are you okay there, MegaFire?
As a Fesh Pence reference. I think it's funny that Hershey's just here, though. I appreciate it. I like Hershey.
Again, that was also another case where I was like, for some reason, I didn't expect her to be here or part of the group.
Yeah, why is she here? I mean, everybody's here, I think. It feels like...
It's like in hindsight, I don't know why I'm surprised, because it's like, so far in this comic, for the most part, like, characters just kind of stick around, but... I don't know. For some reason, I just thought Hershey would be a one and done.
Yeah, well,
or at least I wasn't expecting her to be part of the big fight at the start. I guess I don't know.
I mean, I guess it was supposed to be like a peaceful expedition, and they needed more bodies to like transport things.
They needed more bodies as shields.
Yeah, more meat shields. They should just. Snively has a very, very good/bad appearance in this one. What an unfortunate angle. Why he? Oh,
look at those teeth.
He looks like something, and I just can't put my finger on what.
Is he doing like the Mario jump pose?
Wahoo! Bing, bing, wahoo, baby! Oh, God.
Gollum looking ass.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of, Gollum.
Gollum won the argument.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I don't know how we see Amy, we see Archie, we see the amateur bastards. I like the bit about the roboticized people. I think that's probably the one part of this issue that I really enjoyed. The setup for the king is kind of nice too, like him being a bitch. Because I feel like every time he's done anything, he's always been a bitch. This is very good. I like setting him up as a bitch. Because he's a bitch.
I think Sonic's mom looks funny.
Sonic's mom looks really good.
You having fun saying that word, MegaFire?
He's a bitch.
Sorry, but the king is a bitch. We hate King
He's
Maximilian
kind of an asshole.
Acorn.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's kind of like the one big thought I had that I took away from this. It's like before I was like, oh, the king's shitty, but I guess that's just part of Robotnik's plan. And then now it's like, oh, the king. I wish they never saved him from the zone of silence or whatever it's called.
We hate the monarchy, and Ken Penders will make us all hate the monarchy. He's raising little Democrats.
Take that, liberals.
No, wait, hold on. That has nothing to do with liberal. Wait a minute, it's the other way. I feel like monarchy, like being into the monarchism, is like the ultimate conservatism.
Is it?
Well, yeah. I mean, technically
no
speaking, it's the most conservative of the politics if we're looking at just the root of the... It doesn't matter. Point is...
Episode 11, we finally hit the political talk.
Point is,
well, you see, politics are very relevant to Sonic the Hedgehog.
It's true. I mean, that's literally what it sets up. Is that is kind of the setup for a lot of...
Do you think the president in Sonic Adventure 2 was Republican or Democrat?
He was neither. They don't have bipartisanship in cities in
Station Square.
Station Square.
Is
a single party. It's the Democrat party.
Is Station Square just the whole country now?
I've said too much.
Oh no.
I don't think they ever named like a country, and I don't know.
The country of gun.
Yeah, GUN.
Yeah. Yeah, Jeffrey sucks, but so does Sonic. Kind of don't like this anymore. I feel like
it's like I was already done with this, and then it's just I'm still done with it. You know, like we have to do the song and dance again of like, oh, there's Sonic, there's Jeffrey. They say mean things and they start punching each other, and it's like, this is not entertaining. Like what is this?
And then once again, Bunny and Anton, the stars of the show, the only reasonable people whenever those two fucks are on screen, come out and they hose those bastards.
I think it's still really funny that we've come to the point where like Antoine has just become so lovable.
We love Anton.
I guess one of the few positives of Sonic and Jeffrey being insufferable is so Antoine can shine.
Exactly. And Sonic and Jeffrey crawled so that Anton and Bunny could soar. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to. I like. Oh, also, I just wanted to point out that the little history thing of the war. Every time I see it, it just makes me think of How to Draw Anime, like the old books back in the day. The art's so uncanny.
It is pretty funny.
Also, one of the dogs they showed off reminds me of like those Flippy toys.
Oh yeah,
from like the Jetsons or like Dexter. Dexter, I think it was. Yeah, the Flippy dog. bark.
Right.
Also, they have I just want to point out the fact that they have a like a what is it called? Alcatraz. Jesus Christ. Cut that silence out. They have an Alcatraz.
No, leave it in.
You could hear my brain cooking. You have an Alcatraz for the furries. They have furry Alcatraz. They put him into Alcatraz, Snively, with the beaver guards. Oh, for some reason the FNAF dog is also like Scottish. No, that was another thing.
Hoity-toity-toy.
That's it.
Okay.
That's all I got. Anybody else? Thoughts and prayers?
Nope, I think that's all. Goodbye, everyone.
Many, many prayers.
I couldn't really think of like specific like anything more to specifically say about this story except like it's like I guess like, I thought like for a Ken Penders written story I thought like it wasn't that bad.
No, I think the story was fine.
But yeah, this one it was pretty fine all around, I thought. But I mean, I didn't like it that much, but I don't know.
I agree. I understand what you mean. Like it was again, like that song and dance. Like I feel like if a lot of things were trimmed out, like the parts with them kind of reflecting on what they lost, it was good. It was well written.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I thought that was really a good scene. I like the scene with. Again, I mentioned this before, the roboticized people. The setup with the king is kind of whack, but like I'm glad that they're setting up. I think this is the part where they're like setting up a lot of antagonistic forces because Robotnik is gone.
Right.
So it still suffers from that same thing that you and Bob mentioned, where it's like. What the mystery? Oh, the king. Why is the king being such a dick to his? No, okay. This is the funniest way that they phrased it. The fact that he's like, we've got to stop that bastard, Sir Charles the Hedgehog, the person you knighted, and you still address him with respect. you, the king. You better use his full title, Sir Charles Hedgehog.
I don't think he actually said bastard.
No, I'm saying that
No, I get it.
He's the danger. Fuck you. The danger is radical. The major threat to the realm. Like I like this. Like it also kind of gives Jeffrey an interesting angle. Okay, I'm not gonna be the defender of Jeffrey, but it gives him a character outside of being a sleazy womanizer.
No, I get it. Like,
yeah. It's like he's conflicted because obviously he's like, well, I have to serve the king and the kingdom, and this has come up before, and I think it was also maybe a Ken Pender story, I can't remember, but where he's been given a task and he's like, I don't like something doesn't add up.
Actually, off the top of my head, I'm just like wondering, like, I feel like if Jeffrey's there, it's just because Ken Penders is writing it, but like I'm not sure if that's actually true.
I don't know if that's exactly the case. I think Jeffrey was introduced by Penders. Maybe.
What?
I don't remember. Was Jeffrey introduced by Penders?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so I mean, like obviously he's going to use his character, but he also does add a pretty good element to the kind of this. He gets a little more character, which is nice. I like that. I like the idea that they're building a more antagonism, like this divide between the Robians and the Mobians. All those little things, the fact that Sally is starting to like get into like the position of power, and that's like that creates a new conflict for her. It's good. Like these are all good things. I agree with you. Like the story was fine. Like I thought it was like a lot of setup stuff. This is kind of like where I feel like we see a Pender story where he doesn't have to pace it out like a madman on a sprint, and it's still written like a fucking novel, because you look at some of the panels and it's just like it's all like 90% speech bubble, but like that's fine. I don't think that's a terrible thing inherently. It definitely is weird jumping between panels where you're like, oh, Pat drew this, oh, Ken drew this, oh, Pat, and it's like flip-flopping. It's like some of it's like you get a moment where it's like, oh, this is obviously a Pat Spaziante like Sonic, but then you like look at Sonic's face and you're like, did Ken Penders draw that face?
Yeah, there's at least one page where it like transitions from Pender Sonic into Spaz Sonic, and it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's very funny. Here it is. Like, honestly, all the shit that I talk about Penders' art, some of the moments is kind of, they don't look terrible, but it's still like, you know, it's jarring as hell, especially when you put it between Pat Spaziante's art. Backgrounds are done well.
Art collabs be like.
Yeah, real. I like the backgrounds a lot in this. It's kind of a weird thing to bring up, but like, there's a lot of really cool backgrounds in this one.
Yeah.
If y'all listeners get a chance, check this comic out and just like take a look through like the background pages of the pages.
Yeah, don't actually read it. Just look at the pictures.
Yeah, don't read it. Yeah, we're doing it for you. Don't you don't have to worry.
We're doing the hard part. Yeah, it's really detailed. I like this pic that you just posted.
Yeah, like the special itself is just like a lot of moments where it's like, oh, this is like, even that scary dog picture, like if you look at it, like there's a lot of detail work put into that scene, like the vent, the pipes, the wall decaying, the mildew, all that stuff is there, like the wet like stains. Very nice.
So before we wrapped up, I just want to post real quick. Look how ripped this Knuckles is.
I forgot to say, okay, these last few comics have had really good child drawings. Like
I've
the kids
skimmed
are
over these
going
a lot,
off.
but I just happened to be looking at this while we were talking, and I thought the ripped Knuckles was funny.
This is the original
No
Sonic
offense,
Boom
June.
Knuckles.
Yo, this is the Christian Knuckles. There's one drawing that it was Knuckles drawing, or it was Knuckles kissing Bunny. I'm like, damn, 1998 or whatever, and they're already going at the fucking the pairings. Jesus, it's like,
I mean, the
DVR
comic
came
kind
early.
of encouraged it, but you know.
Female character exists. Knuckles must kiss them.
Knuckles, the Chad Knuckles. Listen, we love Knuckles.
I'm just a guardian.
Me.
3 seconds later.
I kiss Knuckles.
It's kind of weird.
I won't.
That's all I got. I don't know. Closing thoughts. I like to hear some people's closing thoughts. I like to hear.
I liked Brave New World, except for the Sonic and Jeffrey shit again. But other than that, I thought it was neat. The whole like them reflecting on stuff, how well it was drawn. Pretty good. I liked it. So the session overall, not great. I didn't like a lot of the Knuckles shit. I didn't like 51, but no well.
Agreed. Hard agreed. This is. I feel like it's a unanimous. Like this was a stinker of an episode, of a series of comics. But yeah, Brave New World was good. I liked it. Parts of 52 were pretty good. Actually, I think that's exactly what you said in the beginning. Like, yeah, that's. I agree with those. I'm in agreement on that. Harv, thoughts?
I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about Vector's feet.
We can't keep doing this. We can't keep going back to feet.
And you guys will be happy to know, despite how hard I tried, I could not think of a Star Trek reference to jump scare you guys with.
What a relief.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, maybe I was being too nice earlier when I said these comics range from okay to bad. I feel like I just kind of had a bad time this time around. I think the last special was kind of the one exception, now that I'm really thinking about it.
That's fair. That's fair. Honestly, I was surprised when you said that. Because I was like, huh, okay, well. if I had, like, not a great time, I'm surprised you had, like, an okay time.
It was only because I actually forgot. It's like, shit, what happened to these comics again? I'll just say they were okay.
I'll leave us with one last bunny post. Good reaction. Bunny cringe.
I do still have that enjoyment as someone who, like, when I was reading the comics, I jumped in at a super late issue. So so seeing like the first appearance of like Mita, Mongoose, and like Julie Sue, I do have those moments of like, I know who those are. There they are. They're here.
I'm kind of curious. Like, I don't want to bring it up now because I feel like it's not a good time. But like, okay, we're like past the 50 mark. I'm kind of curious, just like on a very base level, like what, like a lot of the stuff that I feel like is used when you jumped in. If I remember when you jumped in, it kind of appears like there are things that have been set up here that appear later on. I'm kind of curious of what your thoughts are, like seeing these setups, because I mean these I wonder if you understand what I mean when I like am like trying to like emphasize that I like the bigger picture, like the setups for things that are written in these earlier issues that kind of bleed into the like the future stuff.
I feel like my general feelings are like it'll be like, oh, it's this character, it's this thing, I remember that, and then simultaneously I'm also like, man, these stories right now they kind of suck. At least to me.
Fair
like
enough,
I know, like even out of these old bunches, there are definitely like issues and stories I enjoy here and there. So I don't want to be too dramatically unfair, but you know, sometimes reading these old ones, like it is a drag. Like if we weren't doing this group thing, I don't know if I ever would have gone through these myself, to be honest.
That's fair. I'm glad I mean, that's the whole point I started this, is to force you all through it.
I am understanding the appeal of a book club.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the feeling. I don't know. Like I think this is probably, it's funny for you all. You get to read through this. For me, this is probably the last time I'll be reading through this series. This is genuinely like my my I don't even know what to call it. My like the final hurrah for the Archie comics. For me,
your Star Trek Picard season 3.
Son of a...
I don't know what that means.
No, you gave him a chance.
I know. I'm not a Star Trek nerd. I watched The Next Generation. That's it.
Quick, wrap up the episode before he does it again.
Oh my god! All right, everybody, thank you for joining us. Next time, we'll be reading most likely, probably a smaller load than what we did this time. If I recall, we got 3 Sonics and 3 Knuckles. No specials, no 48 pagers. We're just doing a 3 and 3.
Only 3 Knuckles. What a relief.
It's a one arc.
I was just making a joke because there's like 10 billion Knuckles. Okay, got it. Just making sure.
Listen, it's taking every fiber of my being not to like make shit up to defend Knuckles because I love him, but I'm trying my best here. So I got 3 Sonics, 3 Knuckleses. I will continue to get sadder and sadder as the series goes on. Because after that, we've got like 2 specials in a row. One of them sucks so much dick, but it's probably going to be very entertaining. And the other one also, if I remember, sucks. So anyway, we got like a pretty interesting spread for the next couple episodes where we got 3 and 3 normals, and then we've got a couple normals with 2 48-page specials, and then we're back into like normals. It's going to be kind of like fluctuating from between specials. They did a lot of specials in this period of comics. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
And boldly join us next time.
Remember, it all goes back
to Star Trek.
To Sonic.
Yeah!